Hello out there. Get the housekeeping out of the way. I'm smoking some Maltese Falcon and my Sassini Walnut. Well, today I'm going to do the basic tobaccos for those who are just picking up the pipe. I guess we can start with Virginia. Now, Virginia, I guess you can get about like yay high or so. It's got some pretty good sized leaves on it. Now, a lot of your Virginia, there's varieties of them. Bright, lemon, red if they matured enough. And it's got quite a bit of sugar in it. Probably one of the highest, I think. So yes, it does taste sweet and it has a citrus quality to it. It don't taste like any Pacific citrus fruit. It also has, and it includes me, it has a grassy or hay-like taste and aroma to it sometimes. Now, a lot of people also pick up a bready, what they call a breadiness to it. That I've never experienced. So that goes to show you, not everybody who smokes a pipe can pick up everything. I'll never know what that breadiness tastes like. Now, Burley. Burley is another common one that's been grown traditionally here in the U.S. They still grow a lot of it. Now, the leaves on Burley tobacco, they are kind of beefy. Yes, they are big. And you can get some sweetness in the taste. Not a whole lot, because it has a very, very low sugar content. No, it's not zero. And a nuttiness quality to it. No Pacific nut you can really pin it down to. Maybe some people can. And sometimes they'll have the taste of a cereal grain crop. More like oats. Now, it also can have, at least to me, another taste. Well, not just to me. Depends on how it's processed in the blend itself. But sometimes, if you don't know exactly what's in the blend, you can't tell, or it'll fool you. Now, there's one special Burley called Samoy. And thanks to Gary and Nolan the way, he introduced me to it. And I've only had this taste in one other blend, the one blend, and that was Cornell and Deal's one of their Burley Flakes series. I wish I could remember. I'd get some more of it. Now, there is a quality to it. He said, I remember he said some people said it tastes like rice cakes. To me, and it's the holy grail, that the flavor I like in Burley. It's about my holy grail. It has the taste of freshly popped popcorn with no seasoning on it. It is a very nice, clean aroma and taste. And I always will look for that in a Burley. Now, Maryland, I'm just knowing a little bit about it. I don't think it has a whole lot of flavor to it, and it's pretty mild. I think back at least a century, maybe a century and a half, up to 2 centuries ago, excuse me, Maryland, a lot of Maryland was exported to mainland Europe. I think that's probably why they used a lot of it for making Cavendish over there. I think at one time. So I haven't smoked a whole lot of it. Now Perique has, I think, the honor of being only one named for being a tobacco variety and a process. Because some of these tobaccos, they're named for the process they go through. And Perique is one of them. Perique is grown and processed in one place, and that's in St. James Parish, Louisiana. So they kind of supply the world. It's processed the same way some of your good cigar leaves are processed. The tobacco leaves themselves are practically fermenting in its own juices under great pressure. But I think you can buy it just a pure tobacco by itself. Now, as far as the process going, not just Perique, some Burley has been made into Perique. Pipe one out. Talking too much. Now, you have Cigar Leaf. That's usually only used as a condiment, like Perique. In some blends, you can taste it pretty good. I don't think you can ever really get the full experience, the full flavor of a cigar from most pipe blends that are Cigar Leaf. To me, they're good for rounding out a nice English blend. Some of my favorites are J.J. Fox's, the Bankers. Yes, I can taste a Cigar Leaf, but it's very mild. It rounds out the rest of the tobaccos in that blend. GLP's makes two of my favorites. Cornell and Dill makes one so far. That's Bide and Bulk. That's Havana Daydream, and one that isn't an English blend itself. Still love is Briarworks Country Lawyer, and there's a few others out there. Now, I'm trying to go through this video as quick as I can without skipping over too much, because this is one subject you can talk on until the proverbial cows come home. And the next tobacco, you could do it with this variety of tobacco all by itself, and that's Turkish Oriental. Now, Turkish and Oriental, quite a few of them have that nice spicy it's more like the spice of cumin, cardamom, or nutmeg, or any of those kind of spices. And there's one or two of them that'll taste more like a curry. And I've had one that was kind of like a ketchup or whatever. Slightly. No, so none of them are going, oh, your Orientals are going to taste like a spice. Izmir, I don't get too much in the way of flavor or aroma. It has maybe a little bit of tartness, and to me it's more of a silky mouthfeel. And there are, I think they said 100, 200 varieties of Turkish Oriental. Smoked quite a few of them. Some of them I just heard of, and others with names I don't even dare to pronounce. But you could, but it wasn't just grown in Turkey itself. It was grown in other places where the Ottoman Empire existed, and outside their domain. So it was grown like in the Black Sea area. I've had one from, a couple from there. I've had Samson. Another one, I think it's Sorghum. It's from the Black Sea area, and that's more of like a mild taste to it. And a lot of them are from like the eastern part of the Mediterranean. The Holy Land, some of the Holy Lands, or Levant, up to the Middle East, way out there to Iran. And a nice little chunk of Europe, the Balkans, Romania, and it's easy to tell where these were grown, or they're still presently grown, because a lot of there's a good number of Oriental tobaccos are named for the cities or towns that were grown near, or the region. Like Izmir, there's the port of Izmir, Smyrna. Bosma, which is another one of my favorites. It's got a nice floral taste sometimes. Very nice. That's why I like Frogmorton on the Town so much. One of them I haven't tried, Drama, and it's supposed to have like a slight olive oil taste to it. There's Uninji, Xanthi, and a whole host of others. Now, there's one Oriental tobacco, its name, it's, even though they don't say it's an Oriental tobacco, it's more or less, they keep it, it's like, they know it for it because, trying to figure out, because it's a process, but it's still made from Oriental tobacco. Which one they use, I think Smyrna at one time. That's Latakia. That's named for the port city, Latakia or Latakia, whatever you prefer. And they're in Syria. They started processing tobacco inside. I don't know, I guess the way to keep everything off the tobacco, just a way of preserving the tobacco. It became popular. It's like kind of like dark fire. They use wood. I think cedar or myrtle, and they hang them up high, and they let that smoke just coat that tobacco for like a month, maybe more. And once you've had Latakia or smelt Latakia, you never forget what it smells or tastes like. It's that distinctive. And Smyrna, I think, was one of the ones they made in Latakia. What they use now, I don't know. But the two other places, they don't really process. I'm not sure if they process it at all in Syria anymore. So Cyprus is your main place, the main place where they process Latakia. I think Macedonia makes some. We'll worry about that in a minute. Now, as far as your processes goes, I'll just touch on them right quick. Now, your What I'm smoking is more like a ribbon cut. There's shag, which is just finely shredded tobacco. That's all ribbon cut is. To me, shag is just same thing, just longer. And the only way I can tell them apart sometimes is just shag will just stick together like Spanish moss. Now, plug is taking a whole bunch of tobacco, stacking it, and practically putting it under pressure and let it just ferment for a while. And that's where also you get your flakes. That's from the plugs. You have flake, cut plug, whatever you want. Broken flake. Oh, you have cakes, which is more or less like ribbon. Same thing, just blocks, cakes of ribbon, shag cut, tobacco, whatever. Those are the real fine cut, and it's pressed down until you make crumble cakes. And there's Cavendish. Cavendish is another one you can talk on forever, because there's no real hard definition for it. It's named, by the way, Cavendish was named for Sir Thomas Cavendish. I'd like to would have sailed with him. If I remember, he's one of Queen Elizabeth's sea dogs. He was a ship's captain. And it refers to loosely like flavoring tobacco. And when they done it for preservation purposes. Supposedly, story is with Thomas Cavendish, they kept their tobacco in rum barrels, or they'd like for preservation purposes. They might put anise with it, whiskey or whatever. And when the sailors got back home, they found out they liked the smell. They liked the aroma, and so did a lot of people who were around them. But also, Cavendish is a fermentation. It's steamed tobacco. You have your unsweetened black Cavendish. Now I'm not sure if they'll take any tobacco, but I guess any tobacco would work. They'd steam it until it's black. And you have unsweetened. Usually if you have, they usually use black Cavendish for a lot of things, even for blends that are not sweet. But as far as sweetened tobaccos, it's added to Burley if they have any, or in Virginia if they have it in that aromatic. By itself, it's usually very good with just a vanilla flavoring. You can't go wrong with it. Now you have spun, which is a cousin of rope, where they'll just take some loose tobacco and just roll it together like a stick, and he'll cut it into medallions. And you have rope, which is was very labor intensive, because what you're doing is taking tobacco once it's pliable enough for them to do it and making it like rope, and it looks like a sausage. And it might go in for further fermentation, steaming, before they let it go for sale. And it's good stuff. Sometimes that's one of the hardest ones to keep lit. That's okay. Well, I might do another video on blend sometimes, and I hope y'all didn't get too bored, and thank y'all for dropping in.